Hi, this is Heather from Strings and Threads. I just got finished over the past couple of days doing something that I don't officially need to do, but I feel that I have the need to do it. So what I did was I officially paid and registered my Dragon Head dice bag pattern with the US government copyright office. And they emailed me back and they said that it has been approved for copyright. It is officially copyright. Now, it was officially copyrighted to begin with because the rules, and I'll get into more detail with this, the rules are that once you put pen to paper with a crochet pattern, it's automatically copyrighted. But I felt like I needed to jump through this extra hoop because people have been taking advantage of looking at my pattern and then remaking it, writing up a pattern and saying that it's theirs. And they honestly believe it's theirs. So I wanted to go over what copyright is, what it covers. And so now I do not have the certificate yet, but I have the email. The email says that my copyright is good right this minute with their office, but it takes them 8 to 16 months to send out the official certificate. And once I get that certificate, I am going to take a picture of it, and wherever I list that Dragon Head dice bag, that picture of that copyright certificate will be there. Just so that people realize this, I'm hoping it will prevent people from wanting to take this idea. I think a lot of people are under the impression that a crochet pattern has to be exactly stitch for stitch what the other pattern is in order for it to be not copyrighted or not violating anything. So I did some research and I would like to share some of that research with you. And if there's any questions, of course, two things to consider. First, I'm in the United States, so rules for your country may be different, but what I did read on the official copyright government website is that there are a lot of reciprocal copyright laws going country to country. Not every single country, but a lot. So if you're in another country and you decide you want to make my Dragon Head dice bag, likely it will still be covered under copyright in your country. So I would ask that you would check your laws for that. The second thing, I am not a lawyer. I have just done research on my own because I have been forced to. There have been quite a few people since my creation of this design in 2014, which I believe I actually was working on it in 2013. Just the very first place that I can prove in picture form that it existed was 2014. So I have to go with that. But there have been quite a few people who have looked at my design, either made up their own pattern or copied my design exactly and claimed that it was theirs. And so I've been forced to do this research and figure out. Now, please forgive me that I'm going to be doing some reading in the next part. I don't have all of this memorized, and I want to make sure that I'm clear and I'm precise and I'm giving you the information accurately. So this first part is all from copyright.gov. I have the link listed in my description. This is officially from the United States government. So definition, what is copyright? Copyright is a form of protection grounded in the U.S. Constitution and granted by law for original works of authorship fixed in a tangible medium of expression. Copyright covers both published and unpublished works. So the next question is, when is my work protected? Your work under copyright protections Your work is under copyright protections the moment it is created and fixed in a tangible form that is perceptible either directly or with the aid of a machine or a device. I just want to interject here. It will come out later from other articles that I quote. Basically, the minute you write it down, it's copyrighted, as long as it's your original work. That's not to say that you looked at my picture of my dragon head dice bag and changed up the horns or changed up the nostrils or whatever and said that's yours. We'll get more into detail about that, but the moment that an original work is written down, it's copyrighted. You don't have to register it. And it was interesting. I read something that said, imagine if everybody had to register every single pattern that they ever did. It would overwhelm the office. And I have other patterns that I haven't officially gone through the US government to copyright, to get the certificate or anything like that, because they haven't been copied. But this dragon head one, I'm so glad that people like it, and I want people to buy it. I want people to make it. I want to be able to show what other people have made. And if people make it and want to sell it, I'm happy about that, as long as they give me credit. So, okay, let me keep going here. I'm sorry. Your work does not have to be registered. Copyright exists from the moment the work is created. You will have to register, however, if you wish to bring lawsuit or infringement of a U.S. work. Many choose to register because they wish to have the facts of their copyright on public record and have a certificate of registration. Registered works may be eligible for statutory damages and attorney's fees in successful litigations. So if you have it registered, you are able then to bring lawsuits, and the other party can be responsible, if found guilty, can be responsible also for your attorney's fees. And I think that's good to know, because it seems hard to justify suing somebody over a $4 pattern. That's a lot of money. But if you know that if you know that you are in the right and the other party will have to pay for the lawyer's fees, then that makes it a little bit easier to bring litigations. And I'm not saying these things to be mean. I do call people out when they copy my pattern, because you should know the copyright laws before you start posting things that I've made. So I do call people out on that, and it's not because I'm the biggest jerk in the world. It's because I am protecting what is mine, just as you would. If I went into your house and stole something, you would want to protect it. It wouldn't be a matter of, oh, you're so mean because you didn't let me steal it. You know, please understand that. But literary works, think of that as an example. If I took the story of Harry Potter and changed the names and maybe changed the location so that it's in a different country or whatever, and that's it, I changed it, but do you think that I would get in trouble for breaking the copyright law? Yes, I would. You can't just do a little change and then claim it as your own. You can't say, I didn't look at your pattern, therefore it's mine. You can't do that. It's the design. So let me keep going. How much do I have to change in order to claim copyright in someone else's work? Only the owner of the copyright in a work has the right to authorize someone else to create a new version of that work. This is still from the government website, the copyright.gov. Accordingly, you cannot claim copyright to another's work, no matter how much you change it, unless you have the owner's consent. Now I'm talking from an article. From the article from Vogue Knitting, there is not a legal percentage of difference between the two patterns to break copyright. It has more to do with whether or not your interpretation relies too heavily on their idea. Even if you take their design and write your own pattern for it, it's still violating copyright. Now I'm quoting from ambassadorcrochet.com, titled Basic Copyright for Crocheters. Quote, some people claim they look at an item and can figure out how to crochet it so they don't need to buy the pattern. That's great, but that doesn't mean you can then write the pattern and sell it as your own. From littlejohnsyarn.com, the U.S. Copyright Office states that crochet is a works of visual arts, which means they are copyright protected as visual work. In the U.S., as soon as you put pen to paper or type, it is already copyrighted. Now that's everything that I've quoted from articles, and there is more and more to delve into, but I think this is enough to get the basic gist out. And I hope if you're listening, you've learned something. I hope that you can understand why I'm so protective of my pattern. This is something I have poured many years of my life into. And so it's something I'm proud of. It's something that I don't want other people to take and make money off of. They can if they make my pattern, but my design. The designs are a lot harder to come up with. It's easy to buy a pattern and make it, or even look at a picture of somebody else's design and approximate your own pattern. Maybe you change up one little thing here or there, but that doesn't make it your design. So like they quote here, if you, the criteria is if your interpretation relies too heavily on their idea. So changing one little thing or two things could still be relying too much on somebody else's idea. So thank you for listening. Thank you for all of you who have supported me. Again, I call people out because they need to learn the copyright laws. I'm not trying to be the biggest jerk in the world. I don't want this to continuously be happening. I don't want to always be on edge. I don't want to be checking Etsy and Ravelry and everything every 2 minutes just so that I can have credit and I can have my design be my design. So thank you for those of you who are honest. There are several of you who sell my pattern on Etsy and you give me credit for it. Thank you so much. Same thing with showing it on other social media platforms. You make it and you show it and you give me credit for it. You guys are the honest people that I adore. So thank you again for your time, and I hope everybody has a great night, a great day, wherever you are. Bye.